Hey, this is NorbCam coming at you. Today, I'm honored to be joined by former Seahawks running back Curt Warner and his wife Anna to talk about football, family, and living with autism. Curt was a Seahawks running back from 1983 to 1989 and was inducted into the Seahawks Ring of Honor. Curt and Anna have 4 children, Jonathan, Isabella, and their twin sons Christian and Austin, who suffer from severe autism. Curt and Anna had struggled silently for years raising a family with autistic twins. In 2018, they published their book, The Warner Boys, a personal memoir about their fight to keep their family together against all odds. Now, there is new hope for their boys to live more independent lives, but they'll need our help for the dream to come true. So I want to talk about how you and Anna met. A couple years into your football career, you were still playing with the Seahawks,
right.
And Anna, you were now living in the Seattle area. Describe the story of how you met in your book is very charming. It's very romantic. I like it. But tell me a little bit about how you met. And I understand you weren't really a football fan, nor really a fan of football players. So it's almost actually even more meaningful, the fact that you guys did end up connecting. Tell me about that.
I was a fragrance model for Christian Dior at the Bon Marché, old the Bon Marché, and men's department. And so I was standing kind of in the corner, and I look to my left and I see this guy coming my direction with the biggest smile. And I just got kind of weak on the knees and tried to look in the other direction. And so he stopped. He had another guy with him, John, who was a personal shopper at the time. He was the men's department.
That was the men's department.
And Curt stopped and said hi, and it told me that if I sold the cologne to him, but only it had to be me, he will buy it. I said, oh, okay, we can talk. And so he came back and we talked, and he asked for my phone number. And I gave him the phone number. And that evening he called me and we talked for like 45 minutes. And my English was not good. And I don't know how we talked for 45 minutes. But and he tells everybody that he bought himself a wife at the Bon Marché.
Now, okay, so that was your view as Anna. You didn't know who Curt was, right? You didn't know him as this famous football player.
No. Oh, yeah. I was asking him on the phone, what do you do? And he was just kind of...
That was evasive.
Yes, very much so. And I'm thinking to myself, is he a drug dealer? What's the
deal here?
So he finally said that he played football. He played for the Seahawks. And I told him, look, if you think that you're impressing me by saying that you're a football player, you're not. I think football players are big and stupid. So that's the image that I have of football players. So
at the time, that was the image, but
yes.
No longer.
Yes. Oh, it was because during the summertime at Green Lake, there were some college kids, football players, and they were kind of jerks at the time, and that's the image that I had. Yeah.
So Curt, that was Anna's perspective, seeing you for the first time. What did you see when you walked into that Bon Marché that day? What caught your eye about her?
I was stunned at how beautiful she was, but I was shy back then. So, it was fortunate that she was selling a men's product, because if it would have been something else, I may have kept walking. I would have looked, but I may have kept walking. But because she was selling a men's cologne, I could stop and have a conversation about it. And that's kind of what I did. And we just kind of started talking, and then I got her phone number, and then we kind of went from there. So
tell me about your marriage proposal. Was very romantic, Space Needle. Tell me about how that went. Let me tell
you about the date.
Oh, the date before that. That's right. The
Well,
date.
okay,
You didn't exactly get off to a fast start, right?
No, the date wasn't.
Oh gosh, yes.
The date
first
was miserable
yeah.
for the first
Yeah.
hour
Yeah.
and a half or so. We went down to this place downtown.
The Jazz Alley.
Yeah. And, that wasn't a very good idea on my part.
It was packed.
It was packed and the music was loud and we really just
Couldn't
kinda
talk.
hard to talk.
Yeah. There were no tables available.
There were no tables available.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going very well. Then I got on the phone with a friend of mine and we ended
Harold Reynolds. They used to play for the Mariners.
The Mariners, who's become quite a very national recognized celebrity now in the baseball circles. But Harold Reynolds of the Mariners came to your rescue. What did he do?
Yeah. He saved the date, pretty much. He saved the date.
So we went to another place. I can't remember what was it.
It was in Bellevue. It was
in
a
Bellevue.
restaurant in Bellevue. And Harold met us over there and made sure that everything, that we're talking and we're smiling and talking, and then he left.
Yeah, I told Harold you could leave now.
So he saved the date.
Yeah,
definitely.
I think so.
Oh, so Harold Reynolds, former Mariner and wingman for you. So you owe him one. You owe him one. So everything started to work out from there, and I know that eventually then it led to obviously you getting married. Tell me a little bit about the proposal and how did you plan this out, Curt?
It was at the Space Needle. Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And, it was just a process of buying the ring and trying to figure out, how I was going to go about doing it. And I had let them know at the restaurant that's what I was going to do. And they were very helpful. We got to that point as to where they brought out a
glass of champagne.
A glass of champagne, and I had the ring in the glass of champagne.
I almost drank
and she almost drank the ring down, but she saw it, and then
he got on his.
I got on my knee, and then I proposed to her, and she said yes.
And everybody clapped.
And everybody clapped.
Yeah.
So
Anna, did you have any idea that this was going to happen? Or was it a complete surprise?
No, complete surprise.
It was a surprise.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best kind. So I want to transition from football here and now kind of your life after football. So you decided to start a family, and I know that you went through some challenges. I know it was particularly hard for you, Anna, as the mother, of course. So what was that like for you? Footballs aside, you're ready to kind of start the next chapter, and it was not an easy start for you guys.
It was still with Ryan still.
In 1990, we got married in 1990 and got pregnant, and perfect pregnancy, no issues whatsoever. Went in for my last appointment to see if we're going to schedule a C-section or just induction, see what was going to happen. My mom and my sister were coming from Brazil to help us. We go in for the ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat. And
but you had been saying for there were a couple of days.
About a day, he wasn't moving as much.
He's not moving.
But new parents, we didn't know. We thought they're just getting bigger and not enough space. We go to the doctor. There's no heartbeat. The doctor puts us in his car and takes us to Evergreen Hospital, which was across the street, to get another ultrasound. And the doctor tells us that the baby is no longer alive. He said, just go home and wait to see if we're going to induce the following morning or what we're going to do. So I went into labor that evening and went to the hospital, and I'm still hoping for a miracle that, when he came out he was going to be okay. I went through labor, and but he had the umbilical cord around his neck, and he was no longer alive. So that was, I think, one of the lowest moments in our lives. And we to be in a hospital and listen to, in the maternity ward, and just listening to all the babies crying in the other rooms at night, and then going home and empty arms. That was tough, very hard, and I went through a very tough depression, and we got pregnant with Jonathan, a high-risk pregnancy, because we didn't know if we're going to have the same end that we had. So everything was very stressful, and praise God, we delivered a healthy baby, and a healthy big baby. And then 6 months later, get pregnant again. No, 9 months later, get pregnant again. And but because we had so many ultrasounds with Jonathan for being a high-risk pregnancy, the first ultrasound, the doctor, well, actually, no. The first ultrasound that we had, because I thought something was wrong, Curt went with me, and he asked the doctor, so, hey, doc, so what do you see when you have twins? And he looked at Curt, Curt, 2 babies. And, that was a joke, and we're like, okay, or whatever. So when I go in for my official ultrasound, I told Curt, just, you don't have to go. We're going to have so many anyway. So just, he was going to go golfing. And so I went by myself. So the ultrasound doctor stopped and said, has your doctor talked to you? And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's something wrong. And I said, no. He said, well, my dear, you're having twins. And I was like, wow, I have a 9 months old at home, and I'm having twins. And so sure enough, they're 18 months apart, all 3 boys. And Curt thought that I was joking.
I did. I thought she was joking. I'm like, really scared. Right.
And I said, okay, so here we go. And so, Jonathan was 18 months old when the twins were born.
Wow. And so that little joke you said, Curt, you might have somehow changed reality by saying, hey, how do you know if it's twins? All of a sudden, bam, there you go.
I'm not even going to take credit for that. So,
well, that was funny, because the doctor was like, duh, Curt, 2 babies. But we only saw 1 baby in the first ultrasound. So,
they're sneaky twins.
I know, from day 1.
To watch the other interview segments of Curt and Anna about playing with the Seahawks in the 80s, their battle with autism, and the exciting new opportunities for their autistic twins, click the videos on the screen. Thanks for watching.